At the beginning of our last video, 10 short types, I said, a movie is a collection of shots arranged in a particular pattern to tell a great story. Last time we talked about collection of shots, where we learned the 10 shot types. But this time, we are going to learn about how those shots are arranged, explaining the concept behind the cut in movies and how to use them.
Come on now, we rolling. Big car chase scene, take one.
Hi, I am Sam, and today we're going to talk about 9 essential cuts in filmmaking. Okay, let's read that line one more time. A movie is a collection of shots arranged in a particular pattern to tell a great story. The word arranged or arrangement of shots is important here because the motive behind those arrangement of shots will decide which type of cut you will apply. If you want to show the environment, then it's cut away. If you want to show the object, then it's cut in. And if you are showing the passage of time, then it's jump cut. But Sam, what is cut? The cut is going from one shot to another, changing the perspective and progressing the story forward. And if you want to become a good editor, then this information is enough for you. But if you want to become a great editor, then here are 9 cuts that will change your storytelling techniques forever, starting from jump cut. A cut is defined as a jump cut when it's cutting between the same shot to show the passage of time. Here, you are using the jump cuts to minimize the time frame. When you know that a particular action is going to take a long period of time to accomplish, like waiting for someone or walking down the streets, instead of showing the complete action, you show a few jump cuts to convey the same message but in a limited time frame. Okay, next we have cutting on action. Cutting on action is exactly what it sounds like. You are making a cut when your subject is still in motion. It could be anything, from opening a door, making a punch, or just a simple turn. The key element here is the motion. Make the cut when your subject is still in motion.
Shazam!
But here is the pro tip. Leave some extra frames when you are cutting on action, because it will give the audience some extra room to register information in their minds from the new frame. This is very common in the movies when editor is making cuts on the action. Like in the movie Joker, when Arthur is hit by the signboard, we see some extra frames when it cuts on the action. Here the signboard and Arthur both are in motion. Those extra frames give us a few microseconds to register that information on that cut. As the name suggests, cut away, you are cutting away from the main subject to the B-roll footage. Here the B-roll footage can exist from the same environment and the time frame of the main story to make the audience more engaged with it. Or it can exist for the different time frame of the main story or scene to show what character is talking about or what is going inside his head.
Word, you'll do it? Word?
In our making videos, we use lots of cut away or B-roll shots to showcase what we are explaining. Okay, now we have cut in. Cut in is the same as cut away, but instead of cutting from A-roll to B-roll footage, we cut to an insert shot.
A picture in my head. A picture of this. This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
And if you want to know more about what is insert shot and how to use it, I will highly recommend our last video, 10 types of shots. But let's just focus on this topic for now. So cut in means going from main subject to an insert shot, highlighting a specific object which is important for the story.
And I planted an idea. A simple little idea that would change everything.
Now we have cross-cutting. Cross-cutting, also known as parallel editing, is used when two narratives are played at the exact time frame of the story. Here editor alternates between two scenes happening at the same time, like phone calls. Two different narratives happening at the same time.
You cannot destroy the whole thing, not for one goddamn guy.
Sure I can.
Well, why?
Because while we're here talking, he's out there getting it done.
You can also use cross-cutting to build suspense and tension in the scene. But if you want to make your conversation interesting and impactful, you should use J-cut and L-cut.
Begin with I think. Just throw out all that psychology.
Stop it!
Where'd you get it? Belongs to his master.
Okay, in simple words, J-cut means audio first, video later, and L-cut means video first, audio later. I think it didn't make that much of a sense, but just stick with me. It will make sense. Okay, let's just talk about J-cut for a minute. In J-cut, you will hear audio of the subject first, and after a few seconds, you will cut to the subject, like this.
Why should I give you the keys?
Because the company's played ball with you long enough. Because you're 3 payments behind. And because we got a court order. Now, come on. The keys.
The name J-cut comes from the shape it makes on the editing timeline. Okay, now in L-cut, the concept is just the opposite. Video first, audio later. This means you will see the footage of the subject first and hear the audio later, just like this.
What'd you do?
I bypassed the compressor.
Huh.
In most of the dialogue scenes, you will spot lots of J and L cuts because it makes the conversation sound much more natural. But let's just move on to match cut. A match cut cuts from one shot to a similar looking shot, and these similarities are either created by a similar action or composition. But don't mix up match cut with a jump cut. Jump cuts are made on a large chunk of footage to minimize the time frame of a one particular action. But on the other hand, match cut cuts to a similar looking shot. This is jump cut and this is match cut.
Come on, guys, let's get to work. Yeah.
But wait, match cuts are not always visuals. You can make a match cut on a similar sound, something like this.
Not if I can help it.
So, as we are talking about sounds, let's talk about montage. Montage is just a rapid cutting from one shot to another. Here your only motive is that you need to cover the subject's actions rapidly, like getting ready for office. You can also use sounds and music to your advantage and tell your stories without any dialogue. But montage can become a visual mess if you are not performing cut on music. Okay, right now we all know that when a sound follows a particular pattern, it's called music. Otherwise, it's just noise.
Let's go!
So when you are making your edits, try to recognize those recurring patterns and make cuts on those points. By doing this, your cuts will follow the rhythmatic pattern of the music and your montage will look much more better.
Hey, keep rolling there.
Alright, so now you know all the 9 basic cutting techniques. Use this information next time to your films and improve your visual storytelling techniques forever.
This is heavy duty, Doc. This is great.
Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit the like button and comment down below. By doing this, you will help our channel to grow up and you will support our hard work and effort behind these videos. And you can watch more of these videos by subscribing to our channel and follow us on Instagram for more daily updates. Okay, and please share this video to your buddy filmmakers. Okay, peace out.